thank you so much for tuning in to Turn the Pages. This is our college edition, and so last week someone called and asked about scholarships, and I said, hold on just a moment. We have the very person for you to tune in and listen to. So again, this is Turn the Pages. You're watching CAN TV, and I am your host, Jordan Rivers, and today our special guest is Ms. Kathleen Jackson from the United Negro College Fund. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So we can get right into business because we only have 25 minutes. So we're just going to make sure that if you have any questions, please call in before we sign out before the end of the program. So if you have any questions, you can always, after the show, make sure that you go right to www.turn-the-pages.org. Review our last episodes for season 1, for season 2, and you can email us right at info@turn-the-pages.org. So, oops. Okay. Little error, little technical error. So let's just jump right in, Kathleen, and just look straight into the camera and tell our viewers who you are and your place in the United Negro College Fund.
Well, thank you so much, Jordan. I am the Area Development Director for Chicago UNCF office, and I've been there for about a year. And what we do is provide scholarships for those students that are interested in going to college. We have each year we award more than $100 million in scholarships to more than 10,000 students.
Wow.
that are in more than 1,100 schools across the country, and that's including our 37 member schools as well. So it's a wonderful thing.
A lot going on. That is absolutely wonderful. So let's kind of play with it. First of all, what is your website?
Our website is www.uncf.org.
Okay, so I'll ask you that in between different questions just to throw it out there, because last week we almost forgot to give a website out. So I want to make sure that no matter what time our viewers tune into the show, that they have that website address right there for them.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to know, first of all, okay, you already said the students, so how can students receive support from UNCF?
Well, students, first of all, I would suggest that they go to our website, www.uncf.org, and click on scholarships. They can look at the website, go through the website, but they can click on the scholarships, and then they can click on apply for scholarships and look at those to see. There's over 400 of them. So if there's something that they are a good fit for, then they can apply for those scholarships.
Okay, so let's kind of cruise through the site to show the viewers, the proper website and just how to maneuver. So let's go right into here. Okay, so you can just take the mouse.
So we're on the scholarship page, and you can navigate to this page from the main page, and then you can go down to apply for a scholarship. And here you will see the different types of scholarships. It gives you the open date and also the close date. So then you can, just go from page to page to see what it is. Or if you want to search for a particular scholarship, then you can do that as well. But read the information thoroughly and then apply.
Okay. Now, can we actually just click on one so they kind of see a little bit?
Sure. And also, let me just make sure that I say that you have to, once you identify the scholarship, then you can set up your own profile. So then you can log on or register here. But we can look at just click on any of the scholarships here. And this close date on this one is the 21st of July. So then they can write a reference, preview the forms, can apply. And then here you would register. If you don't have an account already, then you would register and create an account for yourself and then log on.
Okay.
Okay, you can preview the forms. So if you want to preview the forms prior to completing them, then you can do that as well.
Okay, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Gives you an idea of how to maneuver the site. So again, make sure you register. And can you just repeat the website for me?
The website is www.uncf.org.
Okay, so definitely go there, register, and start searching. So I wanted to know, let me try to stick to my questions that I have here. So if families, students have any questions, who can they reach out to? They can reach out to you?
Well, sure. They can call my office at 312-845-2200, and I can assist them as much as I can. And if I don't have the answer for them, then I will refer them to whichever office that needs to help them.
Okay. Now, there are ways that people can actually volunteer. So I want to kind of touch on that because you all do so much, and there's so much that you do that where it'll take a lot of episodes to really cover it. So I just want to talk about how can people, be a part of what you're doing and give back to the community.
Oh, sure. Well, there's a number of ways people can be involved with UNCF. They can be a volunteer, like we have our walk that is going to be on September 30th. People, if they'd like to form a team, they can go onto our website, www.uncf.org, and click on Walk, and they can register to volunteer, or they can have their own teams. They can contact our office if they're interested in being involved, and believe me, we will find many opportunities for them to be involved. Another way that they can help us is by if their corporation or their organization that they're involved with are interested in being either affiliated with us in some kind of way, having us talk to their employees about UNCF or the various affinity groups, we are more than happy to meet with them and partner with them as well.
Okay, that is great. So you just got to experience the wonderful gala that passed. So can you tell us about the gala, maybe, what it was for and whatever, you have accomplished within that gala? Okay,
sure. Our gala was held on June the 17th. Our presenting sponsor was Tom Ricketts from the Cubs, which was a wonderful evening. Sheila E. was our entertainment. We honored so many people. We honored Shane Evans. We honored the Chicago Football Classic founders. We honored Dorita Robinson. We honored ComEd as well. ComEd has been a long-time partner and friend of UNCF, and so they were honored with the corporate award that night. But it was a wonderful evening. We had close to 700 people that attended, and it was just a great event, and people are still talking about it.
Oh, yeah. I've seen emails that come through that talk about it. I'm like, oh, I missed it. I have to, get to the next one. So, I mean, it's very great. So I want to know, can you give me the details about just the colleges, the universities that you may have a relationship with? Can you explain to the viewers how it works? How can they go online and just apply for the scholarships, and what can they expect?
Well, when they apply for the scholarships, if they are selected, now some of the scholarships also include an internship depending on the year that they are in college as well. As far as the colleges that you asked about, we have 37 member schools, but we are providing scholarships to about 1,100 schools. So they're not necessarily the HBCUs, but they're other schools. For example, you have students that attend U of I here in Chicago, some that attend other schools as well, and so they just have to apply, and hopefully they will be selected to receive the scholarship.
Okay, and so it looks like there are a lot of scholarships on the site. Now, do you have maybe an estimate that you can give on just how many scholarships you have, year round?
Well, right now there's about 400 that are listed on the website, and then people can apply through different corporations or however that they choose to apply, but they can apply on our website. And then there's a general application for scholarships, for a UNCF scholarship too, so they can apply that way as well.
Okay, so 400 at least right now. So does it shift maybe every month? Does something change or?
Well, when you go to the scholarship page, you'll see an open date when the application actually opens, and then you'll see the close date. And those dates vary. So one date, for example, there's some that the dates close July, but they may open in March or April. So the dates do vary.
Okay, so anyone who is looking, for scholarships, it's very important to pay attention to the dates.
Mm-hmm.
The dates are very important, so you don't want to miss those deadlines from just applying. And so students can apply to more than one scholarship?
Yes, they can apply for more than one scholarship.
Okay.
And then also any other details regarding the scholarship. For example, one scholarship, may say one thing as far as, that's why it's important to read the description of the scholarship and the criteria. So it's very important to read those and pay attention to them. But they can apply for more than one scholarship.
Yes, and see how reading is so important, and that's what Turn the Pages is all about. We can never get away with reading, especially when you're talking about education and just making sure that, you have a great career, and just a happy life. Education is important, and reading is definitely a part of that education because you have to be able to comprehend exactly what the application, is asking, of you. So, and so we talked about the colleges or universities, so no one has to, be worried if they don't want to go to HBCU. They can actually, so how does that work exactly? If they're applying for, maybe Columbia College because that's arts, how can they get the scholarship, or like what's on the website that kind of lets them know that that scholarship money can go towards their education for a college that they may not see on the website?
Well, in the scholarship application, it has specific information. For example, there might be a scholarship, like say maybe Discover Financial, and they'll require you to attend an HBCU. So when you read the descriptions and the criteria, it lets you know if you can apply it towards an HBCU or a non-HBCU or either or.
Okay, that's great because I'm thinking to myself, wait, so how does this work? So I have a son who's a junior. He'll be a junior in high school this fall, and so I'm just taking all of this information in and cramming it into his brain and say, okay, we have to do it this way, this way, this way.
That's right. And you want to start early, kind of looking at the scholarships to see, for example, he's a junior. He may not apply until his senior year, but if one of the or all of the scholarships require a certain GPA, then that gives him something to work towards. If it requires a certain ACT score, then then he can focus on that too. If it requires letters of recommendation or whatever from certain instructors, then it might be a good idea to have a good relationship with your teachers. So it doesn't hurt to start looking at the criteria early, and you can start planning, around when you will apply and which ones you will apply for.
Absolutely. I love, that just talking about the teachers, because we talked about on the past couple of episodes the importance of healthy relationships with your guidance counselors and with your teachers at school, because you never know when, that you need that letter of recommendation and you can't get it because, you cursed out the teacher.
Yes. Well, what is really important, though, is being able to do research on your own as well, just in case if you have guidance counselors that really aren't familiar with all of the scholarships that are available and may not be familiar with the various colleges that are out there. Some schools may say, oh, that's a stretch, school, or they may tell you, maybe you want to apply to Harvard and Yale or whatever, knowing that financially you cannot afford it.
Right.
So you want to be able to do your own research as well. It's important to have your family, parents involved in that process as well, especially if they're parents who have attended college before themselves. And just do the research. Is very important, very important. But those good relationships with your teachers and your guidance counselors is very important as well.
Yes, I'm always like, be best friends with your teacher, because you're going to need them. You're going to need their help to pass your courses. You're going to need help with letters of recommendation.
That's true.
And everything. So, but before we went on air, we talked about internships. And, when I was in school, it was very few, far in between that really applied to me and what I wanted to do. And so you have all these art students that you're up against, and you have this one internship that you really want, and sometimes you just don't get it. So I want to know what program you provide that can help students with internships, or just helping them along the way.
Well, there are some, again, on our website, some of the scholarships. Some of them do provide internships as well. It may be a scholarship that you have to, that the internship is available, but you have to do both. You can't do one or the other. So looking out there to see, which ones provide internships. And as I said, we have 400 of them out there. So some may have scholarship only, and some may be scholarship and internship.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't realize that. So you can really get a lot done by doing your research. So it pays to ask. So remember, if you have a question, call in right now at the number below so that you can ask the question, or you can always go and ask some questions through the website, or give Ms. Jackson a call. So, so what other services have you provided that we have not covered yet?
Well, basically, what we do is provide the scholarships. Here in Chicago, we don't have programs per se, because we're doing most of the fundraising, as well. But we are partnering with various corporations in being able to, they have a named scholarship, and also they can provide funding that way. So the partnerships that we are developing with corporations that help us as well. But that's kind of what we're doing.
It's all about the money when you go to college, because you really don't want to get tied down with a lot of debt. And it just seems like in the U.S., education is not free, especially not the best. And so you really don't want to get stuck paying loans and loans on top of loans.
True.
Because we actually, I have a loan or two that, I'm still working on. And so it would have been nice to have this much access in the community to computers and, and so much just to get that information to, keep from getting loans. And so just the fact that you can go right on their website, and if you do not have a computer at home, I say it all the time, there are 80 Chicago public libraries where you can go right into, and you can use the computer. You can pay like 10 cents to print out a page, or whatever you need to do. If you have to go register online, please go to your Chicago Public Library. And just remember, when tax time comes around, because this is something that we do not talk about, it seems like the tax money comes and people kind of forget about very important investments, and instead, especially in our communities where, families, they may say, hey, we need like 5 pair of Jordans, but those 5 pair of Jordans is not going to help your child get into school. So, hey, tax time, maybe buy a laptop or a desktop for the house, and, pay some internet a few months in advance. There are companies out there who, if you are low income, you can get the internet in your home for low or no cost at all.
True.
So remember, please do your research. And so I'm going to ask you again for your website and your number and all your information that they need to contact you.
So our website is www.uncf.org, and my number is 312-845-2200. And if you have any questions that are not asked tonight, feel free to give me a call, and we'd be more than happy to help you.
Absolutely. So I want to know how much parent support do you think should go behind these potential students looking for scholarships? How much do you think a parent can help their child maneuver the sites and just keep them on task?
I think that it should be a joint effort with the parent and the child. If the child feels, I can, and they don't want to be called child, the young adult, if they feel that they know how to navigate the system, maybe create a checklist of this is who I'm applying for this week or this month or whatever. As far as support, financial support, a lot depends on what the parents can afford, what resources are available to them. But I highly recommend that, of course, people apply for the UNCF scholarships. Look at the website and see if there's one that fits you. Apply for the general, application as well, and just apply and do your research and read the applications thoroughly.
Yes, again, that word, read, comprehend, and everything. So one tip that I have before you start prepping for, college is make sure that you are reading at least 30 minutes every single day. Let's get that word count up, because you have either the ACTs or the SATs, whichever one the colleges are looking at. You definitely need to make sure that you are reading to keep you on your toes mentally and prepared for that test. And remember to make sure to ask your high school guidance counselor about ACT testing and SAT testing at your school. So even if you're a freshman, get the test dates and maybe take some practice tests. You definitely want to get those scores up as high as possible. And so it's never too early to start preparing for college, because you have to remember that it is definitely going to be the link to a better future for you. So do you have anything to say to the viewers out here?
Well, I really appreciate all of you taking the time to watch this episode, and just to really engage your young adult, your student, in reading through the website, looking at who we are, looking at the various types of programs and other things that are available just to students at large. So good luck to everyone that's applying. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Look at our website. And if you're interested in being involved in volunteering with our walk or any other events that we have, or if you're interested in other volunteer opportunities, just feel free to give me a call.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ms. Jackson, for coming to the show. I truly appreciate it. We cannot inform our community without you being a guest on this show. And it's all about college this season. So I hope you all tune in next week. We have some very, interesting topics coming up about college. So again, thank you for tuning in to CAN TV. I am your host, Jordan Rivers, and I hope to see you next week. Have a great evening.